Chairman, a unanimous consent request
The gentleman is recognized.
enter into the record a tweet from the Department of Homeland Security responding to the gentleman from New York, Mr. Nadler's claims earlier.
Yep, without objection. Gentlelady from North Carolina for unanimous consent.
Yes, I have three, Mr. Chairman. I ask for unanimous consent to enter into the record a climate power article titled Kristi Noem Gutted Disaster Response.
Objection.
And then a unanimous consent request to enter into the record a Guardian article titled A Bar, Kitchen, Flat Screen TVs, $70 million DHS is eyeing for deportations.
Objection.
And then the last one, a press release by my colleagues on the Appropriations Committee. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem spends $200 million taxpayer dollar money for a pair of Gulfstream private jets.
Without objection. Gentlelady from Vermont is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Secretary Noem, I want to start with your testimony in front of Congress last year. You said, quote, "I think it's shameful to see the defense of individuals who break our laws. We are a nation of laws. If we are not a nation of laws, we are no nation at all." Do you stand by that?
I do.
We are a nation of laws. And obviously, in a nation of laws, agencies have to comply with lawful court orders. Secretary Noem, since you took over the department, how many times has DHS violated a court order?
We always comply with federal court orders. I believe the instances that you're talking about are times when a judge has issued an order and notification came to us in a period of time that was a large enough gap to not meet the deadline. So we may have missed
Secretary
a deadline,
Noem, if I
but
could,
never violated
if I could,
a court
Secretary
order.
Noem,
We've always
I have
followed
the
this
numbers
federal
handy
court
right
order.
here because last week a federal judge appointed by George W. Bush identified 210 times when your agency violated court orders. And one judge has said about ICE has likely violated more court orders in January of 2026 than some federal agencies have violated in their entire existence. Now, Secretary Noem, you have said repeatedly that your department is, quote, following all court orders. But just because you keep saying it does not make it true. And Americans aren't stupid, and they can see what is happening, and judges are also sounding the alarm. In a case where you attempted to deport Ramesa Öztürk because of her First Amendment protected rights, First Amendment protected speech, the judge said that you and Secretary Rubio had engaged in an unconstitutional conspiracy and that you both failed in your duties to protect the Constitution. And frankly, those words are absolutely shocking. And the reality is that you refuse to acknowledge, and you're doing it here today, you refuse to acknowledge that your agency has broken the law. Since you have been at the helm of this agency, has anyone at DHS lied to a federal judge?
No, we comply with all federal court orders. I'm surprised that
So
it
is your
would be
testimony that
shocking
you
to
have not?
It should not be shocking to you.
Is your
that we
testimony
face-
that no one at ICE has violated a court order or has lied to a federal judge? Is that your testimony?
To my knowledge, I'm not aware of any
Okay.
situations where that has
Well,
happened.
so when
I
you
will
look
tell
at
you-
when you look at what the court said in the Öztürk case, it said the court rejects this testimony from ICE's leadership as disingenuous, as squalid, and dishonorable. So we have a federal judge who has rejected testimony from ICE's leadership because it wasn't true. So the head of ICE, Acting Director Todd Lyons, lied in sworn testimony. Has he been fired?
No, Todd Lyons is a good man who has
Have there been
spent
any,
decades-
Secretary
he has
Noem, have
spent
there been
decades
any
protecting the American people
consequences?
and in law
Has there been
enforcement.
any consequences
good
for
man.
him lying to a federal judge? That's what I want to know. Are there any consequences for someone under your leadership
It is common knowledge that
lying?
we have activist judges out there throwing opinions
So you have
around that
said
are not based
repeatedly,
on law,
again, I just want to bring us
constitutional
back to my question. You have said that we are a nation of laws.
Yes.
Nobody is above the law. You are not above the law. Todd Lyons is not above the
you
law.
believe that,
No
then
one
every
working
person
for
who's
you,
in this country
nobody
illegally
working for you
should be
is
held
above the
accountable
law.
for breaking
So I
that
want to
law.
say this, Secretary Noem. It is shocking to Americans right now to see that you can sit in front of this committee and continue to cover for people who are working under you. You're in charge now. This is your DHS. The buck stops with you. The fact that you have people working under you that are lying to federal judges and that you're not going to take responsibility for that and hold them accountable to that is shocking. And I think Americans deserve so much better than that. And your employees have regularly ignored court orders and lied to judges. Now you're covering up. And I just want to say, this conduct alone is impeachable. And I want you to know that Americans will get accountability for the damage that you have done, for the lawlessness of aspects of DHS, for killing innocent Americans, for terrorizing children. They will get accountability. And you are the Secretary of DHS for now. And you think you're immune from accountability, but I promise you this, one day, he is not going to be president anymore. He is not going to be in charge. And when that day comes, we will still be here. And we will still be seeking accountability. And in hearings like this, we are going to continue to prove your guilt. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Gentleman from South Carolina is recognized.